Hello and welcome to my video about what books I read in May. I haven't scripted anything because I thought it would be more fun to just talk about what I read. So this will also be a test of how well I remember the plots of everything that I read. Apparently in May I only read 3 books compared to in April I read like the most books I've read in like years, I think. So I'm thinking about doing a video about the books I read in April as well sometime eventually, but for now I only read 3 books in May. I read everything on my laptop electronically, so I don't have any like fun books to hold up. But the first one I read was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So if I remember correctly, this book is about basically the other woman in a relationship that is usually dumped in rom-coms for the main character. So it's kind of her perspective of what her life is like when she's constantly being the one who is dumped. She is an agent at a publishing company and is known as being a shark, and she finds out that people view her like this, and she ends up going on holiday with her sister to a small town that is in one of her clients' books, and she bumps into a guy who she previously has like work relations with, and they didn't get along because they didn't agree on the book that she wanted to get published. And it's basically just about them hanging out in this small town, getting to know each other better and falling in love. It was alright. I gave it 4 stars. I can't remember what I said about it, so let's see if I did say anything useful in my review. Was good but not groundbreaking. That is pretty accurate. It was very like cliche, move to a small town and they want to stay there because you're helping run the small bookstore there, and then they like couldn't be together because I'm going to mention spoilers by the way because I like when hearing about people talk about spoilers. So he wants to stay in the small town to help his parents run their bookshop because his dad's sick, I think, and she's like, oh but my life is in New York, so I have to go and we can't be together. And it's like just such a, I mean, I guess it's a realistic reason for people not to end up together, but it's like just try a little bit. They like break up and then he surprises her by showing up at the same bookstore that she always goes to on the same day because it was her mum's birthday. Yeah, so it was alright. I don't know, I feel like I love Emily Henry, don't get me wrong, but her books are a little bit overhyped, like nothing really to, in my opinion, make her stand out above other ones in particularly. The second book I read was Pride, Prejudice and Other Flavors. I read this specifically because at the end of Book Lovers there's a list of books recommended by the sisters in Book Lovers. They didn't actually suggest this one, they suggested one like in the series, but I was like I should read the first one first. So basically these books by Sonali Dev are the Raja series, and they're about each sibling has like their own love story. So I read the first one. They're basically royalty from India from what I can remember, but they live in America. The first book focuses on, the guy's name is DJ and I hated that. It's just a horrible name. Trisha, not really a great name either. But Trisha is a doctor specifically to do with brain surgery and having people to not be blind, and she's been like ostracized from her family because her brother is trying to become the president, and her friend in university did something publicity wise that could damage him, and so Trisha's dad is just an asshole. He's like ostracized her from the family because of that, and it's really like tight-knit family, which if you like stories that have really elaborate families and characters, this would be the book for you. However, I did not care enough to remember who everyone was, so there'll be like random cousins mentioned and people's wives, and I was like I don't know who you are, and it doesn't really matter for the story who you are, so I just like let that go over my head. But basically that's Trisha, and then DJ, horrible name, and has a sister called Emma who has a tumor in her brain that will make her go blind / die, and Trisha is her surgeon and has come up with this miraculous way to save her. Plot twist is if she gets the surgery she'll go blind, and she's an artist so she really doesn't want to go blind, and it's an enemies to lovers. So the first interaction they have, Trisha is like really rude to DJ, and because of that DJ's like, ooh, stay away from me. Trisha has no idea what she's done and just like, wow, you're hot, I like you. And then so progresses enemies to lovers. Just spoilers from now on, DJ and Emma get manipulated by this university friend of Trisha's, who actually sexually assaulted her brother, like date raped him, and took a video of them having sex, which was like really fucked up. And I was like, wow. But also that's not Trisha's fault, so I don't know why her family ostracized her for that. So they're like being manipulated by her because she makes documentaries about people who are about to die and makes GoFundMes for them, but takes all the GoFundMe money. Also the whole time DJ and Trisha are trying to convince Emma to get the surgery because she's so annoying and doesn't want to get it. I didn't like her character. I didn't find her likable. She just seemed quite aggravating for everyone around her. And then what is the third act problem? I feel like they only get together like right at the end of the book, and I kind of need to see some like action of them together to make it feel satisfying. There is this really cool moment where Trisha like declares her love for DJ, and it's like so awkward, but like props to her for just going ahead and doing it anyway. I think in the end it just comes out that this lady is manipulating them, and then Trisha's family kind of forgives her for messing up in the past. But I don't know, it wasn't very satisfying, and nothing grabbed me enough to be like, yes, I'll read the next book. Like, I just didn't really care. And then they got together and they ended. Everything was fine. I don't actually know who the next book is about. Number 2 is about another chef who I think is friends with DJ. Chef Ashna. And someone called Rico Silva. I don't recognize either of those names, and I thought it was supposed to be Trisha's siblings that are in the other stories, but maybe it's not. Anyway, it was average and I gave it 3 stars, which I think makes sense for how I felt about it. The last book I read in May was Set on You by Amy Lee. It is about an influencer called Crystal. She's like a fitness influencer, mostly on Instagram, and it's enemies to friends to lovers with a guy called Scott, yes, who is a firefighter, and they meet at the gym and they have like a rude interaction. And I just love all the gym stuff because I find it relatable, so it was really cool to see like a main character who was in the gym in the same way that I am, just like for strength and feeling cool, as well as like, I guess the influencer stuff was kind of interesting, but it had all these blog posts and I just didn't care about the blog posts. I just didn't read them because I didn't care. In the beginning they don't like each other because they have like all these little tiffs at the gym, but then eventually they do like each other. And I guess if you want to read this book, don't listen to the rest of what I will say because it will ruin it. But basically they realize that both of their grandparents, Scott's grandpa and Crystal's grandma, are getting married. So they have to go to this family event together, and they're like, oh shit, that's you, and I just made out with you in the gym locker room. That's awkward. So they decide that they do like each other, but that they shouldn't be together because their grandparents' relationship is really important to them and they don't want to make everything awkward. And then eventually they do get together, and I think it's actually great. The only thing that was not great about their relationship is that Scott said that he doesn't like cats, and that's unforgivable. Like, just be open to the idea. You can like dogs. You don't have to define yourself as a dog person and say that you hate cats. I love cats, but I don't define myself by saying I don't like dogs. Like, dogs are still fine. I just like cats more because I have cats. I really did not like that he said that he doesn't like cats. I was like, just downgraded massively. Also, the other thing I didn't like is that really cool for her, all body positivity because she was like a larger woman, but then he's still like ripped AF, and I just want the trope of body positivity for women and then hot ripped guy to end. Like, let's get some body positivity and realistic bodies for men in rom-coms. Like, not everyone has a six-pack. I guess at least in Scott's situation it kind of made sense because he was at the gym all the time. It was a firefighter, but Crystal is also at the gym all the time and is not massively ripped. I just don't like the double standard. They get together and it's all going really well, and it's good because you actually get to see them in a relationship, which I appreciate. But then she posts a picture of them online, like announcing her relationship, and she gets all this hate because people can't believe that Scott would want to date her because he's so hot and she's so fat. And she has like a mental breakdown and spirals and stops talking to him, which is I don't know, I guess it was kind of realistic for the reality of Instagram. Like, that was a good factor, but then also the way she handled it was stupid. And I guess like reading any rom-com, you're gonna have some dumb problem in the third act for them to break up and get back together. They do get back together, I just don't really remember how. That's how they break up, and then she's all wah 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 me, fat people bully. I can't remember how they get back together. Everything I've wrote on Goodreads is pretty much what I've just said, but I did give it 4.75 stars. So I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed everything apart from, I guess like always, the conflict at the end feels dumb, and the fact that he didn't like cats annoyed me. But they get back together. I don't remember how at all. Anyway, the next book by her, I think it's called X's and O's, and it's about Crystal's sister. So I think I'll definitely actually read that when it comes out, because I did enjoy Set on You. I think out of the 3 books I read in May, Set on You was my favourite, and I think I did rate it the highest. Those are all the books that I read in May. I had a way better reading month in April, but we'll see. I don't really feel like filming that right now. Thanks for watching my video. I hope it was interesting and made sense, since I didn't plan out anything I was going to say. Thanks for watching. Bye.